Okay. Damon Bradshaw, Beast from the East. I don't know if I probably should look at the camera because I think I need to say it over here, don't I? I did. I looked at the camera on that. I need to say it again, yeah. Damon Bradshaw. Some know me as Beast from the East.
In the heart of North Carolina, where red clay turns to dust and thunder echoes across the hills, legends are not born, they're built. Damon Bradshaw grew up in the raw grit of Southern motocross. No spotlight, no shortcuts. And years later, Cooper Webb carried that same fire, a new generation with the same Carolina grit. Together, they stand as proof that North Carolina doesn't just produce riders, it produces legends. Damon Bradshaw burst onto the motocross scene in the late 80s, a teenage prodigy from North Carolina, with raw speed and fearless aggression. By the early 90s, he was battling legends and racking up wins.
Watch Bradshaw's line to the outside.
Bradshaw! Oh, what a move on Ryan Hughes!
Damon Bradshaw takes over the #1 position.
Damon Bradshaw, on top of the world of Supercross, truly deserves the title Extremist.
You know, growing up and racing in North Carolina was not super easy. And the reason I say that is just because chasing competition, there was not really a lot of competition here. You know, we had to go to Florida, we had to go to Georgia, we had to go into the Midwest and then to California chasing competition.
You know, where I was from near the coast, there wasn't a lot of tracks, there wasn't a lot of big time names, there wasn't many guys, like I said, besides Damon at the time, who had really made it professional. And, you know, when I was racing, we had a great amateur scene, a lot of up and coming promising guys, but just never panned out really in the pros like maybe some others expected.
Being from North Carolina was not motorcycles, you know, it was NASCAR and race cars and go-karts and that type of stuff. So, you know, racing motorcycles really was new to a lot of people. I mean, growing up and going to school here and people not really knowing what it was about, you know, people looking at it as more of a hobby and using it to miss school growing up.
The first time I kind of ever heard the name Damon Bradshaw, the Beast from the East, was when I was younger. I mean, obviously I'm only 29, so I didn't get to really grow up watching him race, but he's like a mythical creature in North Carolina. You know, it was like one of the first guys to ever break through for the state, to be really successful in racing.
So the whole Beast from the East thing, I was not really into it. You know, in the beginning when it popped up, it was from an announcer. His name was Larry Naston. And he came up with the name and just kind of started saying his Supercross that he's announcing Supercrosses and outdoors. And again, I wasn't much into nicknames, but it just started sticking and people started using it. And still to this day, you know, I'm walking around Supercrosses or whatever, and every once in a while somebody will mention that.
Damon Bradshaw and Cooper Webb share a mentality that sets them apart. No excuses, no shortcuts. Their strength isn't just in the throttle, it's in the mindset. Tougher, sharper, and stronger than most riders who line up beside them. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them dangerous.
I think for me, yeah, as a racer, having the kind of mentality that I do and people knowing me as for my late race charge and just racecraft and being mentally as strong as I am and handling pressure and so on and so forth, I don't think about it too much in the moment or, you know, leaving a legacy on the younger generation or people watching me right this second. It's kind of, yeah, just like automatic in a sense, right? But then I do, when I reflect on things, I do, you know, look back and go, man, like, I'm definitely proud of myself. The way I do things is a little bit unorthodox compared to kind of the new way of doing things. And I think, yeah, just like I said, I'm a fighter and I'm always, whether I should or shouldn't be in the mix, I feel like I can get there, and late in a race, I feel like I'm one of the strongest guys, you know, ever.
The person that I was and what I used to motivate me. And there was a lot of aggression there. I mean, there really was. And that was what motivated me. And I didn't, I didn't have any friends, you know, and didn't want any at the time of my career, but that was just how I was driven. And that's what made me the person that I am today and the success that I was able to have. I feel like I have to relate, back to that.
It's like chess, right? In a sense, right? Once you get to a certain level in our sport, you know the competition, physically once you check that list, your bike's good, your speed's good, all that. It really does come down to, chess. And racing competitors a certain way, you're gonna race a certain guy different, in my opinion, than you would majority of the guys, and you try to, at least I do, I try to lean on their weaknesses a lot and try to expose those weaknesses when you can, but it's racing, nothing ever goes to plan, or you can't, outthink too much, or it all goes out the window.
I've always said that you had to learn how to race with every rider.
Bradshaw wants this win. He's got the adrenaline flowing, and he's going after it full bore. A right-hand corner, a lap rider in between the two. Bradshaw quickly disposes of that rider.
You have to learn to race with every rider that you're racing against and figure them out and figure out ways to beat them.
Bradshaw jumps it. Look at this. Bradshaw double jumps at the end of it. And
That I'm able to race certain people a certain way and put myself in a position to excel and try to expose some weaknesses out of them, and so on and so forth. When I have game plans with the team and stuff coming into the main event, I think a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, like, you really think that's what you're gonna do or how it's gonna go? And I'm maybe able to know what the line will be 5 laps to go, or I can walk a track and I know by halfway in the main event what lines we're gonna be doing, and so on and so forth. So I do think that's the mental fortitude of just being all in.
I wouldn't go back and change anything. I mean, I definitely would have liked to have raced longer. I'm very fortunate to still be a part of the industry and still work with a lot of the companies that I did, and so I really like where it's taken me. Yeah, I would have liked to have raced another 5 or 8 years or whatever that number could have been, but it just wasn't I left on my own terms.
I like to win with dirt on my number plate. It makes me feel a lot better.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, Damon Bradshaw and Cooper Webb have defined what it means to fight, to win, and to endure. Their names are etched into the foundation of motocross itself. Their legacy isn't just in the races they won, it's in the mark they've left on the sport forever. They are the beasts from the East.
I wish I was could have witnessed it as a kid, but like I said, all I could have is stories and highlights and just